What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. It's the middle of July. It's crazy. This year is flying. I can't believe it. And, I saw this on Twitter yesterday, and official FC26 reveal is this upcoming Wednesday. Literally in 4 days, we're going to get a trailer. We're going to get information on FC26. I think it's safe to say that EA really screwed up this year, man, because they ruined so much of the FC25 hype with the game that was out in the first 4 months. It was just so unbearably bad because of the amount of defensive AI, because of the slowness of the game, because of just everything. The gameplay was the worst we've ever had in the first 4 months of a game. EA have somewhat salvaged it as the year went on with the Team of the Year promo. This is not a year in review of the whole year. This is more of a video that I want you guys to let me know your thoughts, but it's something that as a content creator of this game, someone that covers this game, I still play it a lot, I want to discuss my feelings towards something that I would like EA to really investigate for FC26, okay? And I'm going to try to explain it in a way that you guys can all understand it, and that the EA employees, who we know at this point, the EA employees watch these videos. We see them make a lot of changes quite quickly. We've seen it with weekend league extensions. We've seen it with menu fixes, with weekend league reward fixes. We've seen it, all right? The EA employees seem to definitely take the feedback recently well. I don't know if they've had a change of staff. They do seem to listen more than they ever did, and that's why now I make these videos. For a while, I stopped making these videos because I felt like EA wasn't really doing anything with what we were all putting out. We used to do podcasts with Inception. We used to do all these things. We're talking 5 years ago. Now I feel like they somewhat listen. But this one is going to be the toughest ask of them all right? Because this is a video for the gameplay team, and I want you guys to let me know. Now, look, the first part we can get into here, guys, there's two layers to this video. I'm going to overline and outline the first part. This is specifically to the gameplay team. FC26, you guys can make whatever trailer, all these changes you want. What I will say about FC25, even after the patch you guys made, the console experience on this game is unplayable. You guys really need to investigate what you did, I would say specifically this year and last year, that has made the console experience so much more unplayable than all the FIFAs. Because for a while, we've had this narrative that new gen ruined FIFA and the old gen is better. But what I will say is that games like FIFA 23, FIFA 20, let's say FIFA 23, that's a new gen FIFA, all right? And that's a recent FIFA, did not have this level of input and animation delay. Most people that play console gameplay on this channel, on other channels, will tell you they find themselves catching up so much in commands, so much in animation, so much tackle spamming to just get things to register, spamming buttons. So I tell that there's two things in this video to the gameplay team. This is the most minimal thing that I'm going to say in terms of explaining. Can you guys please investigate the delay? I went to PC, and the gameplay is 10 times better on PC than it is console. I say this so many times in these videos. Again, this is not necessarily a rant video. This is just to talk to the gameplay team. Please figure out what you have added specifically this year and maybe even last year, but mainly this year, that has made the game so much worse. Because I don't even think this year had that many more animations than last year. And last year's game didn't have this level we have this year of delay on console. It's unplayable. I haven't played console consistently since, I don't even know. I really haven't played much. You can see by my team, and the only reason I'm recording on this account is just because it was the one I had connected in the HDMI. I have not played much on this account. It's really hard to play console because it's so input delayed. Now, the main event, and this is the thing that I want to present to everybody, because this is what I think has been really hurting FIFA, especially at the start, and it's something that I want EA to look into, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a couple examples right now. If we go look at, let's look at a gold, who was like an OP striker? Let's go in the Premier League, right? And let's look at strikers, like Son. Let's pull out like Son. Let's look at maybe, and I think Isak, right? So these two were really, really used this year, right? Son and Isak, and then like maybe, who's a lower gold? And you're going to see where I'm going with this, guys. So just hang tight, because I want you guys to let me know your opinion on this, because it is really important to me. So Isak, and then let's look at does Timo Werner have still a really good starter card, or did they nerf him this year? No, he's still got a good starter card, and I think he can play striker. Okay, so in a previous FIFA, right, this card would be amazing at the start of the game, right? Because he has 4-star weak foot, he's got 91 pace, so he's really fast, and he's got 79 shooting. This is my message to the EA employees, okay? And I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. I would like to think of myself in the football sense as someone that I've played the game a lot. I still play a lot. All right. I love playing. I understand it. I watch it. I've played FIFA over the years. Okay. The issue with the game specifically this year is EA has taken the traits concept and the roles in a direction that I think is really going to hurt them long term. And I'm not saying, look, I'm realistic with EA now. I'm not going to ask EA because they're not going to get rid of playstyles. They're not going to get rid of roles. And I'm going to tell you where I'm going with this, okay? My problem with also why the game was so bad in the beginning, I'm going to explain to you this, right? I'm somebody that gets rank 1 most FIFAs. I got 5 15-0s, and I've gotten them all in the last 5-6 weeks. All of them. When rewards were now all of a sudden like people wanted to sweat to get them. And why have I gotten those finishes? Now, this is not my team, but the reason because of it is because I've had players now with finesse shot plus, I've had low driven base trait, and I've had tiki-taka and pinged pass on many of my players, okay? Specifically tiki-taka and specifically good finishing traits. So the movement is good and the finishing is now good. That is the main thing I've had in a lot of my teams. Where I'm going with this is this. The game in the beginning of the year, not only was it extremely clunky and extremely unplayable, the problem with the beginning of the year now is that when you're making starter teams, every card feels so bad. Every card feels so bad in the beginning because none of these cards have roles. You look at a guy like Timo Werner, he doesn't have roles. And EA explained last year, if you don't have roll plus, you're not getting a 20% boost in FCIQ. If you have roll plus, you get 5 or 10%. If you don't, you got nothing. You basically run at the 80% level as a player would make runs. So the game is terrible now at the start because EA have made it a necessity where in the past FIFAs, when you go in the pre-roll era, which is FC26 and below, you can plug a person in your team and play them, even with the playstyles being pretty OP if you had good ones. If you don't have any, it sucks, right? They still will move well. So roles, in my opinion, EA, what I'm telling you is this. You guys need to make the base roles. I'm not saying you give Timo all these roles because obviously now you're basically making money off of every user who wants to now upgrade their team throughout the year and look at, hey, I need a roll plus or a roll plus. I'm going to spend for this promo card. I need this playstyle plus. You know, the problem for me now is EA, for a person that wants to play football, for a person that wants to play normal, they've made the game almost impossible for like 8 months of the year because you have to wait until team of the season to have cards that have the necessary play styles to play football in this game. So I'm going to explain to you where I'm going with this. For example, I can't, if I'm someone that wants to play fast and pass the ball fast and left stick dribble and finish well, I need to wait until like April now in the cycle to get cards that have tiki-taka, pinged pass, finesse, driven on my attackers. I need those 4 and maybe like a press proven. When you start in the beginning of the year, you look at a card like Timo Werner, all he has is obviously 2 base play styles, which is pace for a striker, and then he's got no roles in good positions. So the guy doesn't make good runs, right? And he's like a starter card. This is an OP starter card that back in the day, a Timo Werner, a Ben Yedder, you plug it in to the start and you're cooking in the beginning. Well, now, unless you go in the beginning and you spend FIFA points to even just get a card like Son, who in the beginning of this FIFA, I'm going to tell you how much gold Son was. And I'm going to explain to you all why I'm making this video, guys, because this game still will always be important to me, and I want to see EA take it in the right direction, okay? Sun's gold in the beginning of this year was 400,000 coins, guys, right? For 3 playstyles, 5-star weak foot, finesse shot plus, rapid and quick step. No passing traits, so everyone's passing in the beginning is garbage, but he has advanced 4++, so he makes good runs, better than normal runs. Here's what I'm saying to EA, right? And let's look at Isak as well. He has the plus, so he has better runs. Still not great, right? And then he's got finesse base, rapid. He's got some more playstyles. First touch plus, right? A base finesse, no passing, and then a couple pace ones. This is all very confusing. But what I'm saying to EA is this, okay? For me, this FC specifically, obviously the AI defending we had in the beginning was atrocious. But what also didn't help was that we didn't have cards like we have during Team of the Season that can really help you bypass that, right? Really, right? You look at like, that Maradona that I was showing you guys, or this Neres, right? This Neres has tiki-taka plus, so he makes 20% above average runs. He's got a base finesse shot, so his finesse is going to be better, which is a clinical shot. On my other account, I've got cards with low driven, finesse, pinged pass, tiki-taka, and then both the quick step and rapid and tech. And you're watching me yesterday. If you watch my second channel gameplay video, I'm absolutely cooking people, bro, because I can play football. I can play fast. I can play at a high skill that people can't defend me. Whereas now I'm looking at FC26 and I'm saying, to me, the start of new FIFAs is going to be less exciting if EA is going to make all of these cards so bad. So I hope the gameplay is better at the start. But what I'm also talking to and getting to and rambling about here in this video is that I hope EA, if you're listening to this, can you guys please just boost the attacking AI for the general players in this game? Because for me, even with the cards that now my whole team has advanced forward plus, or everyone has the roll plus in the position, right? This team is really outdated, so, you know, that's not showing the full story, but, like all my cards are really outdated. I think Rodgers has... No, so even during team of the season, this account is not a good example. But, like, you can see that, you know, at Cam, Shadow Striker plus, Zidane has all those roll pluses. For me, this game, the attacking AI is not anything incredible, even with the roll plus, but it's at least baseline. So what I'm telling EA is this. I wish you guys would make more of the baseline AI in this game with the rolls. I know you're not going to get rid of the rolls. Can you guys make it closer to plus, and then you make plus insane, and then plus is like unthinkable. Like, we're seeing Maradona make these crazy, like, diagonal peel-off runs, like, that you would just never think of, like stuff you would be doing with player lock. That's what I hope EA will work towards, because I'm a realistic guy. I know EA's not going to get rid of rolls. Guys, I know, because they're not going to introduce something in the first year and then scrap it, because that makes them look bad as a video game company. They introduce a new feature and they get rid of it already. But I'm just saying, for everyone's fun at the beginning, yes, EA can make the gameplay faster, more responsive. The problem is if we can't put these gold cards in and even play any style, because I found myself in the beginning of this year's game having so much trouble even, like, stringing together, like, 4 passes. The passing was terrible because not one player has passing playstyles that are relevant, which will be incisive, pinged, or tiki-taka. And then the finishing is god-awful because no one has finishing traits. Like, this year, if you don't have finesse shot or low driven, you're cooked. You can't score the ball. The keepers are insane. Like, try shooting a normal shot without those two. It's very unlikely it will go in. You probably need 99 shooting. So I'm just saying to the EA employees, you know, we used to have traits back in the day, and traits did not rule what you needed to have. You could still plug a player in and you're good. You don't have the roll, and you got these traits like, you know, someone has finesse shot trait. It's not a necessity to score finesses, but it's cool. It now feels like these playstyles are necessities, and rolls are super necessities. Like, if you don't have roll plus, your player sucks. So I'm just asking EA, I guess the point of this video is, as we head towards FC26, as the reveal is next week, we'll probably learn some stuff about gameplay. But if the gameplay devs see this, and you guys in the comments, you guys let me know, I feel like a lot of the joy with these, specifically the start of this FIFA, the gameplay sucked, so we don't really know the experience. But it's the fact that the baseline players, even below the traits and the playstyles and below the roles, the baseline for the non-plus and the non-silver playstyles sucks. Like, it doesn't even matter what stats they have. They don't move well. They feel stiff. And I found myself in the beginning of this year's game, specifically with FC25, just running down the line a lot, like, because I couldn't even pass the ball. And now everybody's, like, watching my gameplay this year, and they're like, man, wow, you're playing really well. And I'm like, did you not watch me the last 8-9 years? This is what I've done. I pass the ball, I left stick, I play with pace, I play really attacking. This is how I've always played. I haven't been able to play this way, and I'm sure a lot of you guys in the comments are going to say the same thing, that you haven't been able to play at a certain speed until Team of the Season, and then it feels like an entirely different game. And it's not necessarily just the patch they made in January, which that should have been the gameplay the whole year at least, at a bare minimum. I can't believe it took them till January to patch the horrendous AI we had in the beginning. So from a gameplay side of things, from an enjoyment side of things, I hope that EA will look into just making the baseline mechanics for stats better, because that's what a lot of people used to like with FIFA. You pack a card, you look at the stats, and you're like excited. You don't pack a card and then look at the playstyles and be like, damn, I can't use him. Like, what happens if you pack Isak at the beginning of next year, and let's say he has no playstyles and he has 0 rolls? You're going to be excited that you got Isak because he sells for a lot, but you're not going to be super hyped because you're like, man, he's probably going to end up playing really stiff, and I'm not going to be able to connect passes with him. It's just kind of a nightmare. And it's so interesting because the way EA have it formatted right now, even if Isak had, let's say, 88 passing, let's just say that for the sake of the argument, and let's say 99 attack positioning, okay? That would have been like insane back in the day. You'd have been like, okay, this guy's the best striker. But if he doesn't have tiki-taka silver or at least advanced forward plus, he's not going to move well, even with 99 attack positioning. So you see what I'm saying? That's where EA have kind of ruined the whole purpose of stats. And I understand, EA, get your bag. You know, I know you guys got to make your money. You're trying this progression thing where, you know, everyone has to sit there and work towards roll plus, and everyone wants to work towards finesse plus. But you guys need to make the baseline for the normal player better. You know, it can't be a necessity to need these things to play the game. It's a shame that FC25 has taken 9 months to play the game normally. I had to sit here and play against 4-2-1-3 spammers all year, and I can't play football until literally 3 months ago. And then I think 6 out of the last 8 weekend leagues, I've got like 15-0 that I finished the weekend league. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that we need these things to play passing football, to finish the football, to have players making runs and not have to spam player lock everywhere. I felt like I spent 6 months this year player locking players, running down the line, and then cutting back and making the most brain-dead 6-yard passes. Now I can ping the ball with pace, play at a certain speed, and I feel like it's just EA. You got to look into that for me and the community because we want to be able to play with these gold cards and have fun. We don't want it to have this whole stiff experience where nobody can run. They don't make any good passes. They don't shoot the ball with, you know, efficiency. And like, you know, Timo Werner's the prime example. This is a guy that, you know, even in FC24 when they introduce playstyles, right? Maybe he doesn't have a ton of good playstyles, but he has the fast playstyles, right? And rolls aren't even a thing. So you don't have to worry about attacking AI. Whereas now, it's like you got to think about both. And EA ultimately have made it so pay to win through the whole year because, you know, I faced some guys in the first weekend leagues that would spend basically exactly what EA wanted them to do, right? Spend like literally probably $10,000 on the game. And in the first weekend league, you know, I'm playing against the Gold Mbappe, right? And then, you know, these guys have, you know, advanced forward plus on a guy with quick step at 97 pace. And, you know, 6 play styles, one of them being a finishing play style. And then, you know, they have midfields of Bonmati and, you know, they have midfields of Bonmati and Putelis who, look at this, tiki-taka, finesse, tech, you know, some roll pluses, and I can't even compete. You know, EA, because his team, he could be half the player I am, but because his team moves so crazy with all these playstyles and having tiki-taka, it just makes the skill, the gap is crazy between our two teams because my team doesn't move and his team is moving crazy. Makes him look like a god. So I really am asking EA just on this video, what I'm ranting about ultimately, and you guys have got it by this point. Let me know what you guys think. I'm just saying, looking at FC26, because we're now at the point where the EA employees, the game is probably the game, but they probably can make some baseline tweaks to some stuff. I just pray that you guys can make the floor of the players better, that it doesn't feel like we need it. It doesn't feel like we need tiki-taka and Isak, but it would be more of a benefit. Do you know what I'm saying? Right now, it's a necessity. I don't need advanced forward plus, but I do want to work towards it. Right now, it feels like unless we have it, we can't play the game. You hear what I'm saying? So let me know your thoughts, guys. Those are my thoughts. Number one, hopefully EA can make console more responsive and playable. This one seems like it's on them. In the past, I've said it's servers. This game this year was like 1 of 1, and FC24 was not this delayed with input. And the other one is just having the base players in the beginning of the year just be more usable. Can we look at stats again in a way where we're like excited to try somebody and not look at the card and be like, wow, one play style, no rolls, he's going to be terrible. Hear what I'm saying? Is there a world that's possible? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.